starting next month. At the moment, the goal is to strengthen their positioning for the postseason. Inside University of Charleston Stadium at Laidley Field, the 28th Capital City Showdown between George Washington and Capital is set to unfold. And we bring it to you next in our latest edition of the Go-Mart Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Glenville State University. We welcome you inside University of Charleston Stadium at Laidley Field, a West Virginia sports treasure. And tonight, two proud high school football programs are set to collide as Capital and George Washington tangle. GW is 6-2, number 6 in the latest Quad A ratings of West Virginia. Capital enters at 4-3, tied for 10th in AAA with Chapmanville. It's a matchup with much riding on it in this latest installment of the Go-Mart Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Glenville State University. Greetings from the capital city, along with analyst Jim Mahan, Hannah Klein on the sidelines, and our wonderful FNR crew, Mark Martin. Delighted to have you with us. Jim, great to be back with you. Playoff time edging closer here in the great state of West Virginia. These two teams have a pretty good idea they're going to be there, but they want to strengthen that playoff positioning.
They definitely want to do that, and this is a cross-county rival, so they played 28 times, so this is going to be a dandy.
All right, let's check out the players to watch in this game tonight. We saw this young man earlier in the season, Cy Persinger. He threw for nearly 1,000 yards last year, paced to do it again, and he is the guy that leads a very good George Washington offense. Flip it over, David Robinson excelled last season, over 1,000 yards rushing, been nicked up a little bit, did not play against Oak Hill, just one play a week ago against Spring Valley. They have Mr. Robinson back, and they feel they are a very strong football team. GW once called this place home before moving up on the hill to Steve Edwards Senior Field. It is the home of the Cougars, and this meeting between the two capital city schools is about to begin, and we bring it your way in just a moment on our Go-Mart Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Glenville State University.
You see that.
Beautiful night here in the capital city of Charleston as we get set for this clash between the Capital Cougars and the George Washington Patriots. Again, this is where the state championship football games will be played come December. Brian Holstein is our referee tonight. Let's head down to the field.
You're good. Hey, good luck. Good luck, fellas. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Okay, GW, you're the visitors. There's a heads, tails, and a heads. Before I flip it, make your call loud enough so number 3 can hear you. What do you call?
Heads.
What did he say? Correct. It's a heads. You've won the toss. You want the ball? You want to kick towards the Capitol, correct? Capitol, you go over here. GW, you're here beside me. GW wins the toss. Elects to receive, shake hands, go to the sidelines, and hurry back.
All right. How about that? Brian Holstein, one of the best in the business. And his crew tonight will feature Matt Vance as the umpire. Joe Rector is the line judge. Will Holland, the linesman. The field judge is C.J. Terrell. And Ray Johnson is the side judge. These gentlemen wearing black armbands tonight in memory of member of the crew, Marvin Smith, who passed away. Another outstanding official. So Capitol will kick it off. GW wants the football. Braden Robinson will tee it up for our West Virginia State Building and Construction Trades kickoff, where the future is forged.
Yeah, Mark, Steve Edwards Jr. trying to make a statement right out of the gate that got the toss. They want the ball. We're going to see what they're able to do with it, how well they're going to be able to move against this Cougar defense.
Samaji Wesley back deep. Jamari Smith beside of him, and Wesley will watch it bounce, scoop it up at the 10, and taken down. Pretty nice play. Mark Schardiger making the stop. So
really good job on coverage there, Mark. Kicking the ball deep. Kind of had one of those golf backspins on it, like a little 9-iron ball, kind of checked up, bounced back toward Capitol, had a little trouble getting it. That aided in them being able to cover that and get him inside the 20.
All right, Persinger in the gun. And Jim, we had a chance to see this GW team back in what was week 1 in West Virginia. Persinger will fire and gets it into the hands of Kai Martin. Martin shopped for a short gain there. JoJo Green in on the stop. Jim, I must say, Laidley Field, it was around for years. They shut it down for a couple of years. They reopened it in July of 1979, and you were on the field. You were a member of the South Cardinals in that North-South All-Star Football Classic, the first event played at this venue as we know it today. And there is Jaden Black, just an outstanding player, and saw Black earlier in the season in that Spring Valley victory. His first game went over 100 yards. He's been terrific.
We're going to say that name an awful lot, Mark. He's a freshman. I mean, kind of hard to believe he's kind of seasoned already as this year has progressed.
They're down and 3.
We've had little snap troubles early, Mark. You might want to keep an eye on that. There's been a couple low snaps there to Persinger. Let's see what it looks like on his 3rd and short.
Persinger will give it to Black, and Black will surge ahead, and he's going to get the first down.
Yeah, no mystery there from Steve Edwards Jr. Kind of really focuses on that up front 5 that really got a good push out of that to get an extra 4 or 5 yards that they didn't need or that they needed for the first down.
Look at that Patriot offense with Persinger, Black, Wesley, Clyde May. He's a really good player. Braden Edwards is Steve Edwards Jr.'s son. Here's Black. And he finds a nice opening there and will take it to the 35-yard line for the Patriots.
It looks like Steve Edwards Jr. has a recipe of let's do some ground attack here early. Persinger hasn't put one up. Of course, he never really hasn't needed to put one up. So if the ground attack's working, that's your safer bet.
Picked up 7 on the play. Jamal Dotson made the stop for the Cougars. Flag comes out.
Yeah, it's a motion. Looks like the side judge came over and initially signaled motion on the offense.
Smaji Wesley. So George Washington won that game that we did earlier here on FNR, 27-7 over Spring Valley. Knocked off Hurricane 45-12, Cabell Midland 27-12, 55-7 over South Charleston, Barnesville, Ohio 17-14. Defeated PHS, Parkersburg in a good one, 37-30, but they've since lost 2 straight here as Black gets the call and Black bangs for good yardage.
Yeah, we talked about that penalty that raced pretty much all of Black's forward progress on that previous carry. He just decided I'll just get it all back and get another first down for the Patriots.
And that's going to be a Bridge Valley first down.
It appears that they're moving the sticks, and they're going to wait to get that set before they snap the ball for GW.
GW will bring 3 wide to the near side. Fresh set of downs for Persinger and company. And then we have movement again. Parker Chapman is the left guard. Tons of potential, according to Steve Edwards Jr. 2 penalties, 10 yards on the Patriots. That win over Barnesville, Ohio, they had a 41-game regular season winning streak, that being the Shamrocks, before GW defeated them. They've lost 2 straight.
I don't think we have any Shamrocks in West Virginia.
We do not have any Shamrocks. Man in motion, Black with the call, and Black, well, they bottled him up, and then he's caught from behind. Stop made by Christian Robinson. And after the Barnesville win and the PHS win, which was a close game against the Big Reds, Jefferson on a Saturday afternoon defeated GW 34-33. Tough loss for GW. And then last week they took on Huntington. Good Huntington team we saw earlier, but they played them well. 30-10 was the final in that game. They gun it out. Wesley makes the call, and Capital there to make the stop. Good job by the defense.
Yeah, Cam Harris, the senior, read that one really well, was out there, kind of fought off the block, was able to stop that initial forward progress, and now we got a 3rd and long for the Patriots. That definite throwing down for them. Let's see what Persinger will do. How many guys will he put out in this pattern?
Well, Black stays in the backfield with him.
And 3 receivers right and a wide out to the left, so he's got 4 guys plus a swing guy if he needs him.
Really get it into the hands of Wesley, and Wesley is on the run. Samaji Wesley to the 10 and will take it in. 69-yard touchdown pass play for the Patriots.
Mark, I don't think you could have scripted that any better. There was an excellent pursuit. Capital felt like they were going to have a good chance to get the ball on the punt, so they were kind of over pursuing. Great call there by Steve Edwards Jr. with that middle screen. Developed a great delay in getting that ball to Wesley, and that throw by Persinger right on time, right on target.
Teddy Smith is the kicker, Persinger the holder, and Braden Edwards is the long snapper. Smith, he is a good one, and this is a good one right through the uprights. Another look at it here, Jim.
You see, Persinger does a really, really good job of kind of delaying that throw until he got it to Wesley, and Wesley did the rest of taking it all the way to the end zone for 6 for the Patriots.
All right, breaking the action here in the capital city, and the Patriots of G-Dub strike first here on FNR. Our scoring summary and closed captioning tonight being presented by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program. Just like every play counts on the field, every decision counts behind the wheel. Put the phone down and keep your eyes on the road. Don't drive distracted. Put it down. Save a life. 8 plays, 85 yards, 4:27 off the clock. Comes at the 7:33 mark as Somaji Wesley gathers in a pass from Cy Persinger and does the rest, racing to the end zone. 69-yard pass play. Time for our West Virginia State Building and Construction Trades kickoff, where the future is forged. Teddy Smith will be doing the kicking here. Robinson is back deep, along with Damian Johnson. Johnson has the best speed on the team, according to head coach John Carpenter, who's in his second stint as Capital's head coach. Came back on board a year ago. Great coach, has a state championship to his credit.
And Mark, GW trying some little trickeration there off of that. Going out of bounds.
Yep, that's going to be a gift there for Capital. So we'll see the Cougars on offense to get it going here.
No memory there, Kenny, little trickeration around Halloween. He's always spirited about stuff like that.
Cartier Smith is the center, and Fernando Valdivia will be the QB. Just play underway here. And we'll see Brian. You know, Jim, we've done Capital through the years. We've seen Valdivia a lot. Really a good young man, and now a senior. He's been through a lot of changes here. As John Carpenter says, he just shows up every day.
Mark, I feel like he's had a COVID year, a redshirt year, a medical redshirt. He's been there forever.
Here's Robinson, boy, and if they can get this guy going tonight, again, he's been banged up, but he makes a nice carry there on first down. Let's head down to Hannah Klein.
All right, I appreciate you, Mark. Well, two Kanawha County teams are squaring off tonight for our Go-Mart Friday Night Rivals game of the week. Let's first start over on this side of the sidelines with the Capital Cougars, who are expected a hard-hitting emotional contest in Charleston. The Cougars, led by head coach John Carpenter, are fighting to secure a playoff spot in Class AAA. Carpenter, who guided Capital to a state championship back in 2014, returned to Charleston in 2024 to lead this team. Capital has shown flashes of its old dominance this fall, relying on a balanced offense and a young but athletic defense. Now let's step over to the other side of the sidelines, on the sidelines of George Washington, rolling into the contest as A front runners continuing a strong campaign under veteran head coach Steve Edwards Jr. Now in his 30th season leading the Patriots, Edward has guided his team to postseason play 22 times. This year's group looks poised for another deep run. Mark?
All right, Hannah, look forward to your reports here tonight. And while Hannah was giving her report, we saw a nice run by Robinson and then a great heads-up play there by Valdivia and getting it into the hands of Teray Rush.
He got hammered there on that throw, was able to get it away, and Rush was able to get a little bit of help from one of his linemen and get a little bit more extra yardage there, but made something out of nothing.
Teray's older brother, Teran, a great player here at Capital, went to Eastern Michigan. He's now on the coaching staff. Valdivia will hand it to Robinson, who just glides his way to the 36-yard line before he's taken down.
Yeah, Mark, enough for a first down for the Cougars.
Clyde May, outstanding senior, just a hybrid. You can put him at defensive end, you can put him at linebacker, all over the place, plays offense as well.
Got two teams with some pretty solid linemen up front. They do like to grind it out. They do like to run the ball more than throw the ball. So, you know, this might come down to maybe a critical turnover late in the game.
And just one senior on that Capital offensive line. We have movement here. Tomas Cintron is the left guard, and he's a good one. And, well, Nasir Jeffries, really a good right guard, just a sophomore. So that sets him back 5.
They got a freshman, a sophomore, and another freshman.
Incomplete.
Good thing Kion Davis didn't have his head on a swivel there, Mark. That senior turned around. That ball was popped up in the air. He had a shot at an interception.
2nd down and 15 for the Cougars, trying to even things up here after George Washington scores on its opening possession of the game. Robinson will get the call. A stiff arm there, and, well, Robinson, he's not going to go down without a fight. Kion Davis had him, but he got away and gets to the 30-yard line.
Hey, Mark, you see what kind of physical runner he is at 5'9", 168. He doesn't go down easy. He uses stiff arm. He keeps him legs churning. A lot of work in that weight room for that young man.
Already 26 yards, 4 carries. Valdivia guns it out. Catch was made by DJ Spencer. Did a little sidestepping there. See where they mark him down. It looks like to be the 26, but that is going to be a Bridge Valley first down.
Yeah, good stop there. Good pursuit there by the senior in the middle, Casey Atkins, able to get over there and prevent any further damage on that run.
John Carpenter says Spencer, really good competitor. Each team now with 3 first downs, and he showed that competitive edge right there as he battled for that first down. Valdivia will hand it. And here is Robinson trucking his way through the traffic there. Clyde May will make the stop.
Good job, about 4.5 mark. They're down in, we know, 4 down territory at least, you know, being inside the 30 of the Patriots. So they know they've got at least one play to play with here. Don't want to lose too much yardage. We'll make sure it's still going forward here.
2nd down, little option. Valdivia, and boy, they were ready for that play as Robinson goes down. Good job there by the Patriots. Grant Aldrich, who had been out of the lineup with an injury some of the season, he was there along with Kion Davis.
Yeah, you got Davis and Aldrich, 2 with only 1 blocker out there. And Valdivia probably would have been better if he'd have just ate that ball and just stuck his nose up in there and tried to get what he could get.
Aldrich missing action due to a broken hand. Did not play in that Spring Valley game that we did. Fired out, catch is made. Nice grab there by Rush. Our T-shirt gun is brought to you by the West Virginia Federal Credit Union. Hannah with it there. Experience the credit union difference at the West Virginia Federal Credit Union. 4th down play here for the homestanding Capital Cougars. 2 in the backfield now. Spencer lines up along with Robinson beside of Valdivia. Jordan Whitehead now switches and goes into the slot. Left-hand side. And movement here. And let's see.
They had a great setup, Capital did, but unfortunately they didn't have that thing timed right. They put in motion Whitehead, but they had an overload there on the left side, so the corner either had to pick the swing pass or he'd have to pick the guy going down the seam. You can't get both of them. They only had 3 receivers with 2 defenders. It was a great setup, but unfortunately Capital couldn't get it together on the timing.
So they need to reach the 16. Here's Valdivia rifling, looking, got a man, and good defense there by GW. It was intended for rush Trenton Stump Nelson. And it was going to be right there on the line.
Yeah, been awful tight there at the back of the end zone, but Rush did have his hands on it.
Thank you to Critical Power Management for our Expect power generator of tonight's FNR game. So 3:17 to go here in the first quarter. GW back with the football. Well, if you're John Carpenter, you like the way you moved the football, but just unfortunate, unable to come up with any points. Persinger and his GW Patriots back to work, and he will launch and intended over on the far side of the field for Kai Martin.
Martin kind of ran into the defender. Persinger put a little bit of air and then a little bit of distance on that one. Martin wasn't able to track that one down. But you're right earlier, Mark. I'd say John Carpenter's happy with the progress of the team, how he brought the ball down the field. Didn't like that one play where they lost a bunch of yards.
Jaden Black, and he will be wrestled down. Good defense there by Ja'Cory Clark, the defensive tackle. Jan Dills is proud to sponsor the streaming of tonight's FNR game on Facebook and YouTube. Injured in a car wreck, call Jan Dills, attorneys at law. We won't take no for an answer. GW 2 for 2 on third down.
Mark, I lived in the wrong generation. You got a defensive tackle, number 6. And another defensive tackle in JoJo Green, number 4.
With the baseball numbers.
There they go.
They're all numbers now.
There they go.
The craziest numbers, maybe the NBA.
Absolutely.
Third down play, Persinger rolling, looking. Persinger going to take off with it, and Capital able to take him out of bounds as JoJo Green had not played football until this year. He's a basketball player, and he comes up with the stop there, and that is going to force GW into a punting situation here.
Our first punt of the game, Mark, and a really good job by JoJo Green, the senior, of closing with some discipline and making sure that Persinger's going to tuck and run that with that ball.
Damian Johnson back deep, awaiting the Ashton Lusk punt. Good snap by Edwards. Johnson's going to let that one roll, and they'll down it at the 23-yard line. That's where the Cougars will take over. First down, and Jericho Henry there to down it. 48-yard punt by Lusk, and Capital back to work. Well, John Carpenter and his crew got what they wanted, get the ball back after, kind of tasting it down there in GW territory, but trailing here 7-0.
Yeah, a little bit of difference though in their field position. They're now sitting on the 22-yard line as before, where they had ball nearly at the 40-yard line on that initial kickoff after the GW score. So you might see a little bit more conservative play calling here by Coach Carpenter.
Give it to Robinson. Robinson lows to break it to the outside, and he does. Twisting and turning for first down yardage. Great job by Robinson as he gets the Bridge Valley first down. Bridge Valley Community and Technical College, find your path.
Mark, you'd mentioned earlier about Robinson being a little bit nicked up. Doesn't look too nicked up tonight. It looks like he's in full force as he's running through that GW defense.
An 11-yard pickup for the Capital Junior. Capital started the season losing to Princeton 28-7. Princeton number 1 this week in AAA, still unbeaten. Valdivia on the pitch. Good job there by DJ Spencer. They had him dead to rights, Jim, and he made another nice little shuffle move and journeys his way for the nice pickup.
Yeah, a little quick shuffle with his feet. Did a really nice job avoiding the one. That was another instance of Valdivia pitching course, he did have a man on him this time, committed only to him. I think that was probably the best decision he could have made. Excellent move there to get the additional yardage.
Spencer picking up 6 on the play. 2nd down, 4 as we go under a minute to play here in this opening quarter. Rifle it out now. Spencer on the catch and breaks a tackle and gets another Bridge Valley first down. Outstanding job there. Casey Atkins knocks him out of bounds. Well, as we are always ready for food, and when I say food, that usually means pizza. And delivery of the game, Marco's Pizza to the booth. Marco's Pizza is the delivery of the game, satisfying the FNR booth tonight and every night. Daggone, we only got one more night next week.
That's exactly right.
All right, fresh set of downs here for the Cougars, and a new running back will get a taste of it here for Capital as they hand it in to the breadbasket of Cam Harris, the outstanding linebacker. Harris, just a tough runner, like what John Carpenter says, just a good dude.
Good dude. They got a nice stable of runners there for Capital. I mean, these guys doing a good job. Of course, those guys up front are doing a great job too, giving them holes, but some really strong running by their running backs.
If the Cougars will try to run another play here, Jim, they don't have to here as this first quarter is winding down.
Might want to try to draw the Patriots offsides.
Yep, they will get it into the hands of Robinson, and he will surge ahead there and close to first down yardage as the first quarter comes to a close here at University of Charleston Stadium at Laidley Field. 4 state championship games will be played here in December, and 2 teams that would love to be here are battling it out. 1 quarter in the books, and it is GW 7, Capital nothing on our Go-Mart Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Glenville State University. And don't forget our school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA, coming up after the game here tonight in Charleston. Steve Edwards Sr. was a great player at St. Albans High School, later played at WVU, and of course coached many of the great teams at George Washington High School, then became an assistant so he could be with his son, Steve Jr., who is the head coach.
case you're wondering what that is on his knee, Mark, that's real grass.
That's real grass. We don't see too much of that anymore.
Not anymore.
Capital with the football as we start this second quarter, trailing GW by a count of 7-0. And here is Robinson. And Robinson tripped up there. Nice job by Aldrich.
Yeah, Aldrich did a good job. If he got outside of that, he definitely has a first down. Mr. Robinson was in the neighborhood of the first down previously, and he lost some yards. A TFL for the Cougars.
Capital with 6 first downs in the opening quarter. GW had 3. Capital rushing for 60 yards. GW with 68 yards through the air. Each team penalized twice for 10 yards. Valdivia takes the handoff, shoots it into the direction of Teray Rush, who draws a crowd. He never went down. See where they spot him at the 42-yard line. Down to Hannah we go.
All right, Mark, I'm having way too much right here. Scott. I'm with the seniors for the student section. It is senior night right here, so I'm here with about how exciting that is.
I'm pretty excited here. I mean, Capital High School is my favorite. Like, it's like the community here is so amazing and the impact here. And it brings I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's just like a never a dull moment here.
All right, so you're senior. What's next for you?
I tend to go next year. But yeah.
Okay. So we always go to different student sections, see how loud they are. I want to see how loud this student section is.
Hey,
All right, Mark. I'll send it back to you, Mark.
All right, thanks a lot.
Mark and Hannah that she didn't interview the Dodger guys since they're in the World Series tonight. That, by the way, in case you're not a Dodger fan, at number 16 is Will Smith, the catcher. I don't know if anybody really needed to know that, but
Capital 1 for 3 on third downs. Fourth down coming up here. Unsuccessful first time they went for it on fourth down. Here's Valdivia. Sets up, looking, and now he's going to let it fly out of bounds. And yet again, the GW defense will shut down the Cougars. So the Cougars are moving the ball. They're having some production offensively, but just unable yet to dent the scoreboard. Capital, we mentioned they lost the opener to Princeton 28-7. Then they came back, beat Cabell Midland 27-13, St. Albans 48-0, South Charleston 35-24. That was a great game. And then lost to Huntington 38-7, down to Oak Hill without David Robinson 27-7. And then last week, Spring Valley. Well, Spring Valley did what they've been known to do down through the years. They just grinded it out and scored a touchdown in every quarter, Jim, for the 28-7 win. Here's Black. And Black still on his feet. He broke a tackle. Jaden Black will finally be taken down. But what a play by Jaden Black as Jamal Dotson finally gets him down. Trayvon Tyson had him, and he got away.
yeah, Jaden Black, that's the previous replay where Valdivia just kind of threw it up there. Mark, almost you'd want to tell your kid, just throw it down the middle of the field, and if they want to decide to pick it off, they're going to have better field position as that turns out.
So Black, after the 50-yard run, upended there.
Even when it doesn't really look like Jaden Black is getting anything, he got kind of hit in the backfield, still was able to get some positive yardage. He got a yard out of it. Of course, that's kind of an anomaly for him. He's usually chunking off about 5 or more.
Christian Robinson made the tackle. Black 80 yards on 8 carries. Patriots break the huddle. Here's Black, and Black is slung down. Ja'Cory Clark with a big-time play. The senior, the 6'1", 220-pound 12th grader, makes a big stop there for Capital.
Yeah, Clark did a good job of reading that. Kind of shooting the gap there, kind of had a slant left action going on for the Cougars. Good job getting that TFL for them, putting up making a third and more than 10 yards here and they can, Mark, get a first down without actually getting into the end zone.
Loss of 3 on the play. Persinger takes the snap. Here comes the rush and gets it to Black. Black. Again, he breaks a tackle. Tell you what, for a freshman, he is tough to bring down.
Well, he's got oak trees for legs, Mark. I mean, he had 3 guys on him, and he had a tough time bringing him down. That kind of shows you what kind of strength this young freshman has. You're talking about a special career that young man's going to have.
Well, he broke all the records at John Adams set by Ryan Switzer, who
pretty good resume for Switzer.
Not bad. A couple of Kennedy Awards, All-American in North Carolina. Breaking the action here, GW on top of Capital 7-0 here on FNR. I hope we're going to keep it here. I thought they called timeout. Well, now they did call timeout. All right, we break away here in Charleston, and GW looking to kick a field goal when we return.
Him up here to give us some.
Back inside here, University of Charleston Stadium at Laidley Field. GW leading Capital 7-0 in the Capital City Showdown between the Patriots of George Washington and the Capital Cougars. 28th meeting all time between the two. So GW going to go for it here on 4th down. Direct snap to Black. A flag flies.
I don't think they're going to count that one, Mark. Now, if you want to explain that, Mark, he's allowed to go in motion, but he's not allowed to go in motion while the ball's being snapped to another player. So, can't do that. Let's see here. It's a direct snap to Jaden Black, but the motion there by Persinger, can't have that.
So now they will bring in Teddy Smith. This will be a 28-yard field goal attempt. The holder is Mark Blankenship, a little high, but he gets it down, and Teddy Smith knocks it through. Teddy Smith, he's been guided by Michael Hughes, who was a great kicker at GW and then at App State. Played at App State for the late Sean Clark. He was an All-American at App State and then became the head coach of the Mountaineers.
Did a good job of getting that snap. It was high, Mark, but they got it down just in time. That can really throw a kicker off that timing if he doesn't have a good crisp snap with a good hold and then the kick and the follow through. But Smith did a good job on that one. You got to kind of think that Capital consider that a win, you know, instead of, because they had Black there getting ready to go into the end zone on that previous play. Luckily, they got a little bit of laundry on the field and was able to go back and end up having to kick a field goal.
Bring you our West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program scoring summary in a moment as Smith gets set to kick it away here. It was 5 plays, 50 yards, 2:19 off the clock. A West Virginia State Building and Construction Trades kickoff for the Patriots. They go for an onside kick here. Did they get it? I believe they did. How about that?
That ball placement was really way off of the ordinary, Mark, which made the ball really have a wild bounce to it. G-Dub able to bounce on that ball.
So that gives the football right back to GW at the Capital 49-yard line. Snap it to Black. Flag comes out. Black goes down. Clark makes the stop. We'll get the call here from Brian Holstein after he chats with his crew. And here's Brian. Good job by Clark. GW has been hit with the flag 4 times, 20 yards.
Both teams been really successful on the ground. Of course, when you have Jaden Black and David Robinson, you're going to hand the ball to those workhorses more times than not.
And 2 excellent backs. And they're underclassmen. Persinger guns it out. And the catch is made by Jamari Smith. Well, Jamari, but they call him Boy Boy. Boy Boy Smith. And set down to Hannah Smith. Hannah Klein. Hannah with the T-shirt gun. Brought to you by the West Virginia Federal Credit Union. Experience the credit union difference.
I said, boy, maybe she's our girl.
There we go, Hannah. Good job. Guess for the rest of the night, we'll call her Miss Smith. She's a dandy. All right, here we go with GW and Black. No, check that. Persinger kept it, and Persinger. What a nice ball fake by Persinger. He doesn't run it much. Maybe it's to our surprise, and he takes it to the 34. He's a good-looking player. He's a kid that's really worked hard to be a good quarterback.
Yeah, Coach Edwards was talking about, Mark, how he's so much improved his arm strength from a year ago from where he was throwing to where he is now.
Thrown in last season due to an injury and got a lot of valuable experience, threw for nearly 1,000. So he picked up 15 there, and that was a Clay Center first down where science and art come alive. And here is Black trying to come alive as he gets the handoff there. Steve Edwards Jr. said he's so easy to coach. Jim, we talked about you being in that first North-South football game that was here, the first ever event here at what was then called New Laidley Field. And that was the summer of 1979. Steve Edwards Jr. was your teammate.
He was one of the guys on the team.
Well, that team was loaded.
That's some good players.
And the North had a good team, too. It was a one-touchdown game.
Yep, 15-7.
Persinger, here comes the rush. Persinger gets it out of his hands. Releasing it, catching it was Derek Valentine. Another Anthony playing here at UC Stadium.
A great read there by Jamal Dotson, Mark, the senior defensive back. He kind of smelled that one out early on, was able to corral him to shorten that distance.
Anthony Valentine, member of the UC Golden Eagles. They are on the road tomorrow. Battle of the Birds as the Eagles take on the Fighting Falcons of Fairmont. 3rd down 8. Persinger back to pass. Unleashes. And a flag comes out. Well, it was intended for Jamari Smith. And tightly guarded there by Damian Johnson.
They might have Johnson on some PI there, Mark. It'll be our first major penalty of the game. I'm pretty sure all the others have been of the 5-yard variety.
Here's Brian. That's a tough one, Jim, for Capital.
Yeah, ball, not a really well-thrown ball by Persinger, but you can't have that contact with the ball in the air, much to the chagrin of the Capital homestanding fans here tonight.
So fresh set of downs for the Patriots. Persinger gets it into the hands of Valentine, and Valentine gets a few before Trayvon Tyson, the sophomore defensive end, takes him down. You think about some of the quarterbacks that George Washington's had. Most recently, Abe Fenwick, Grant Wells, R.T. Alexander, Nick Britton, and you go way back with Mike Estes. Here's Brian Holstein again. And Capital gets some of that back, Jim. Then you go even back further, Joey Beckett, Scott Long. I could remember reading about GW football and, the way they would throw the ball around. And Danny Vogelback, he was a great receiver. Graduated in 1977, got to know Danny when I was at Marietta College. I remember reading he caught 19 passes in a game.
One game, yeah. Not a season, one game.
Black gets the call, and Black will be taken down. Good pursuit there by Capital's number 56, Zion Pitts. Zion Pitts, just a freshman, really going to be good, according to John Carpenter.
Got some good quickness, got good eyes there to watch, see where the ball is. I think they should be teaching these kids a little younger as to where the ball is. If you'll notice, sometimes some of the players don't know which direction the ball is going in, right or left. I think that's one of the primary things that you can teach these young players is where is the ball.
Here's Black, and Black blasting through the hole. Black's got room, and Jaden Black has gotten the first down, the Clay Center first down. We needed 16, and he got it.
And hanging on there, DJ Spencer able to save a touchdown, at least momentarily, for the Cougars.
Needed 16, got 20, 1st and goal now for the Patriots. 12 carries and another 100-yard game for this young man right here. Boy, if you were just a individual driving along the interstate, said, hey, there's a high school football game, let's stop and watch it, and then you start watching the game, you'd never guess that number 11 is a freshman.
Absolutely not.
Direct snap to that freshman, and he finds his way into the end zone to extend the George Washington lead.
A little toe-tapping touchdown dance there for the Patriots. Yeah, Mark, you talked about Jaden Black, that freshman. He's certainly got a special career ahead of him.
He's already got a special career. He's got one going, doesn't he? In this first season.
100 yards and not even at halftime.
All right, Blankenship will hold for Teddy Smith. And Capital races across the line here.
It might entice Coach Edwards to shift and go to a two-point conversion now that they're going to take half the distance.
So Blankenship will await the snap of Braden Edwards. And the kick is up, and the kick is good.
Get a wildcat formation there for Jaden Black right up the middle. Good piece of blocking there by the Patriot offense.
Our West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program scoring summary. 8 plays, 49 yards, 4:39 off the clock. Just like every play counts on the field, every decision counts behind the wheel. Put the phone down and keep your eyes on the road. Don't drive distracted. Put it down. Save a life.
Mark, we've been talking a lot about Black, but that is his first touchdown of the game. Samaji Wesley had the other one, the really long run earlier in the first quarter.
And always remember, we'll go back if we must, as this game moves along. Onside kick leads to the score.
Yeah, they're kind of, looks like they're going to tee this one up, and they're not putting on that disguise so much as they did last time. The ball was just really set really differently, more difficult, a lot easier to do an onside kick. So they've really overloaded the left side of Capital on the kickoff return team.
And this one, is it going to stay in? Well, the Cougars are going to pick it up, and that's Robinson who has it. Robinson will take it to the 25-yard line. Not sure if that was going to go out of bounds or not, Jim. So
yeah, well, that had really kind of a weird bounce and a spin on it. So I could see why Capital decided not to take a chance, because they just lost the last possession. Now we got flag. We'll see what's going on. See what Mr. Holstein's call here is. Mark, our always artful and skillful statistician Robert Stegall was able to pinpoint that illegal block in the back before it actually happened. So hats off to him.
Our naming rights sponsor for Friday Night Rivals is Go-Mart. Go for good times. Go for Go-Mart. Capital going to try to go 90 yards here before this half comes to a close, and not much doing there. They'll give Robinson his forward progress. And our FNR games presented this season by Glenville State University, where champions are made on the field and in the classroom. With more than 150 years of tradition, Glenville State is committed to helping students rise to the challenge and reach their goals. Glenville State University, pioneers for life.
A little surprised GW didn't take a timeout there. Got no progress on that. You don't get to carry him with you past the first half, so had a good chance to stop the clock. Now with a third down with a rolling clock with 1:41 left in the half. I'm wondering if Steve Edwards Jr. will take one now.
Thank you to Bulldog Graphics for the T-shirts at tonight's FNR game here inside University of Charleston Stadium at Laidley Field. Again, we mentioned this was GW's home stadium for a long time. And when GW started as a school back in 1962, and then for many years, they played a lot of games at Old Wapow Park, as did some other teams here in the Valley. Here's Robinson, and Robinson will take it to the 29-yard line. David Robinson with a good carry there. Robinson, DJ Spencer getting up a little slow. That's a Clay center first down. 11 yards officially.
Yeah, you got to think these two special running backs, David Robinson right now.
Jan Dills is proud to sponsor the streaming rights of tonight's FNR game on Facebook and YouTube. Injured in a car wreck, call Jan Dills. Attorneys at law, we won't take no for an answer. Robinson at the Mountain State Athletic Conference Media Day, highly praised by John Carpenter as head coach, is going to be the most highly recruited kid in the Kanawha Valley. Marshall football off this weekend. Coastal Carolina next Thursday night in Conway, South Carolina. Marshall football today with Tony Gibson, presented by the West Virginia Lottery tomorrow morning, 9:30 on Fox 11. What a game last week in Huntington, Jim. Double overtime victory for the Herd over Texas State.
That was a good win for Coach Gibson.
For first ever meeting between the schools. Texas State's leaving the Sun Belt. Maybe the last time they ever played. There is DJ Spencer. It looked at first like he was going to get up on his own power. Now he's coming off, and he's a very talented young man, good competitor, according to Coach Carpenter. And hopefully they can get that young man back. Need all their horses here. He's a junior. So first down, 56 seconds and counting. Valdivia. Pump fake. Valdivia guns it. And that one just a little too strong. Trying to get it to JoJo Green.
Yeah, he could have put a little bit more air in it that Valdivia could have. JoJo Green broke away. The defensive back actually didn't stay with him. So JoJo Green had an opening there if he could have put some more air on it.
He like Valdivia did all of his checks, didn't he, Jim, with the reads?
Rolled to the left, looked to the left, pump fake to the left.
Dump it out. Here's Robinson. Robinson. That's some room. Breaks the tackle. Robinson not going to go down. And David Robinson will take it to the 38-yard line.
That's a good example there, Mark, of not going out of bounds and kind of forfeiting some yardage that he got. He really got themselves in a scoring threat area here inside the 40 of GW with 36 ticks left.
33-yard pickup for Robinson. Picks up the Clay Center first down. Steve Edwards Jr. saw Steve Sr., the late Steve Sr., his days at St. Albans. Steve Edwards Jr., winningest coach in Kanawha Valley history, 30th year guiding his alma mater. What a thrill. You see that a lot around high school football. You get to come back and coach at the school where he played. He was a great tight end. He was a great linebacker for the Patriots, and then went to the University of Cincinnati. Made him a defensive tackle. He wore number 40. He was number 7, though, at GW. He was the first to ever wear number 7. A few other good ones wore. Grant Wells, Ryan Switzer, to name a few. All right, John Carpenter now in his second stint as the head coach at Capital. And there is Carp. Carp closing in on 100 career wins and has a state championship to his credit. Steve Jr. still looking for one. His dad got one right here on this field in 82. Valdivia fires, man down there, and it's going to be picked off. Grant Aldrich, another number 7, and he reels it in for the Patriot pick.
Kind of an unfortunate throw there by Valdivia. Threw into double coverage, Mark. They had 2 guys covering the receiver and then just able to come down with the pick in the end zone.
Aldrich, the senior, glad to have that young man back after dealing with that broken hand. Another look at it here. Valdivia showing off his arm here.
Yeah, he had a pretty good arm, but he did have Rush down the seam all alone, and he kind of missed him. I think he was going for the home run ball there. Well, that was Rush who he was throwing to.
All right, ball is loose in Capital. They got it. Scooped up. Cougars touchdown. Wow. What a job by Jamal Dotson. Well, about 3 guys were there, had a chance, and what a turn of events there.
You're talking about momentum shifter. In addition to that, Mark, You know it. You guess who gets the ball to start the third quarter? The Cougars.
Well, they throw an interception, and you think, okay, that will do it. But GW just Black appeared to not be able to handle the snap, and the Cougars were coming.
Going against all the fundamental things coaches teach your guys. Don't try to pick it up, fall on it, get the recovery first.
Good kicker for Capital. It's Braden Robinson. Oh boy, good job by GW's kick unit there. And there's a look at it, and it was Robinson. He was right there, couldn't get it. Christian Robinson, that is. And then scooping it up, Jamal Dotson, and he takes it in. And just like that, we got ourselves a 17-7 game here with 20 seconds to go in this first half. What a lift for the Cougars.
Mark, I have no idea how Capital got that extra point through. I guess he must have kicked it underneath his arm or leg or something. I don't know how that ball made it through the uprights.
15 yards officially for Jamal Dotson, as Capital registers the defensive score.
Yeah, John Carpenter couldn't have scripted it better. If this half ends this way at 17-7, he can't be any happier in the way his Cougars have performed throughout this game. Maybe a couple fourth down miscues, but still very much into this game.
Braden Robinson kicks it off, and that one's going to go out of bounds.
Of course, the GW does have the always dangerous Jaden Black, plus Persinger's got a really good arm with a good core of receivers, and not a full complement of timeouts. They have two, so they have a chance to move the ball down, and they got, like you said earlier, Mark, a very good kicker. So we'll see what kind of advances they want to make, or do they just want to sit on it? Well, they might be a little bit jittery after that fumble the previous play. Maybe they just want to take a knee and get into the locker room, make their adjustments. We'll see.
Patriots break the huddle. And that will do it for this first half of action. GW zooms out to a 17-0 lead. Big defensive play by the Cougars. Jamal Dotson on the fumble, takes it in for the touchdown, the extra point good, and it's 17-7, Hannah Klein with John Carpenter.
Putting some points on that scoreboard, talk a little bit about the team's performance before the half.
I just gave up big plays on third and long, and then we can't throw the ball very well, so we just got to get things fixed.
And then just an update on DJ. I know he went down, saw him moving around.
He's fine. He's ready to go. He'll be back in second half. Thank you.
Good luck. Mark?
All right, Hannah, thank you very much as we head to our Huntington Mall halftime report. And it's a 17-7 lead for the George Washington Patriots over the Capital Cougars here in our Capital City Showdown on the Go-Mart Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week presented by Glenville State University.
Hey everybody, Road Trip and Terry Burhans. We're at the West Virginia Federal Credit Union in South Charleston, and I'm with Mick Arvon. He's the CEO here, and Linda Duncan. You're the one that answers all the questions. Thank you for helping us with Friday Night Rivals. What does it make you feel like when you know you're helping the community and helping out sport like this?
It's always great to help others.
Yeah.
Together, we always make a difference. And we're just trying to make a difference.
West Virginia Federal Credit Union here in South Charleston. Another location is, where's your second location?
St. Albans.
St. Albans. You guys have decided to be part of our sponsorship here for this football game. Did you have experience, either of you, with sports? Did you play ball when you were in school?
I did.
Nice.
Yep.
Were you a cheerleader?
Long time ago.
I wasn't a cheerleader, but I played tennis.
Oh, good for you. Got some good, strong forearms, I bet you still.
Yes.
This is something that helps our Friday Night Rivals, and you guys are helping out so much. It's a wonderful thing to be a partner with you and so many of our folks. You can see them on the T-shirts. I think we're going to be doing some T-shirts with you guys.
Yes.
Nice. So this is a community event. You guys help a lot. You ask the community to help. It used to be a company, but now it's all open to the community.
Yes, we're open to people who live or work in a 6-county area, from South Charleston all the way to Huntington.
You see neighbors. You see people that you live around that come in and you help them with their credit problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, we do. We want them to come and experience a credit union difference with us.
Say hi to Linda and say hi to Nick when you visit with them. Hey, we're going to go. Let's together. We'll say, now back to you at the ball game. We're going to say that together in 3, 2, 1.
Now back to you at the ball game.
Well, this is a halftime interview brought to you by Kia Dutch
Sean
Miller
Anderson.
right here with the principal of Capitol High School, Mr. Anderson. So excited to see you tonight.
Thanks for
Perfect weather as well.
It's beautiful out. It's beautiful. We're glad to have you guys here this evening.
So $500 going directly to the school. How awesome is this?
It's awesome. Any money's good money, especially free money. So we're excited about it. It's something we'll probably use for students' incentives for attendance. We got a lot of great things going on at Capitol High School, but attendance is one thing we're really trying to focus on to bring our attendance rate up at Capitol High School. So
I know earlier this week we were talking to you about some fun programs at Capitol High School. You guys have anything and everything, performing arts, the Roar Store. It doesn't stop.
Yep, I've got a toboggan from the Roar Store I just bought to keep me warm. Under $10, you can't beat great-looking toboggan. So the Roar Store is up and running, and we're super excited about that. If you see our ROTCs here tonight, I would put them against anybody in the state. Top shelf ROTC program. Plus, you got the honor of meeting with some of our fine arts people, our band, our dance, our theater, our choir, some of the best kids in the building. And we're on an uptick too. I mean, our band was grand champions a couple weeks ago at a competition, and we're just super excited. We're definitely trending in the right direction.
Well, again, a halftime interview brought to you by Kia Dutch Miller.
All right, thank you very much, Hannah, as we get set for this second half to begin. 17-7 in favor of George Washington. Big defensive touchdown for Capital right there at the end of the half. Cougars get the ball to begin things here in the third.
Could be a momentum shifter here for the Cougars because they're going to get the ball to start this third quarter. Let's see what Coach Carpenter had in store in halftime.
All right, saw a couple of really good backs in this first half with Jaden Black, David Robinson. All right, getting set here for our third quarter kickoff. West Virginia State Building and Construction Trades kickoff. Well, GW got an onside kick in the first half, and that led to a score. But this one will go out of bounds. And our first half stats. Get the call here from Brian Holstein, our referee tonight, although we know what that call is as the ball goes out of bounds. But
Mark, Capital might want to consider blocking some of those GW guys instead of just kind of shadowing, kind of screening them off before the ball.
All right, our first half numbers brought to you by Go-Mart. Go for good times. Go for Go-Marts. 113 yards rushing for GW there in the first half. And here is Robinson as he collects a few yards. Capital going with a new QB here. They got a young guy that they're really high on in Rayshawn Isabel and Deshaun Isabel, forgive me. And, you know, John Carpenter says he's going to be a really good one, knows where everybody should be. You'll see Valdivia will probably play some wide receiver here in the game.
Move him around the slot to try to get him the ball out in the open spaces, Mark.
Isabel will hand it, and Robinson will just kind of follow his blockers. Capital came into existence in 1989. Consolidation of Old Charleston High and Old Stonewall Jackson High Schools. Charleston High just won the state championship in '88. They had a lot of those guys back. You add them with the talent at Stonewall, and guess what? 1989, Capital won a state championship.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Defeated Brooke, Robert Jefferson, Mo Townsend, the late Jack Woolwine, John Carpenter, Mark Mason. Now John back at the helm. Those are your head coaches. Here's the pitch, and Robinson. Good job there by Derek Valentine.
And Mark, considering maybe a right foot or left foot spot, they're going to go ahead and move the change. Good job there. Good pitch out there. Good extra effort there by Robinson to get the first down.
First downs here in our third quarter being sponsored by Bridge Valley Community and Technical College. Find your path.
If the Cougars can punch this in, Mark, and really change the complexion of this game.
Robinson. Follow the blockers on the right side of the line. Nasir Jeffries, right guard, and Zion Pitts the right tackle. Landon Hamilton was in there on the stop. Great night for high school football here in the Kanawha Valley, the capital city. Robinson got 3 on that first down carry.
Coach Carpenter being very deliberate, wanting to be calculated here, make sure his team doesn't have mistakes, wants to keep the momentum going.
Hand it off, and boy, Cam Harris just about lost that one. So good recovery there. Well, we talked about, coaches here at Capitol, and this is the Jack D. Woolwine Jr. Memorial Football Game. And they hand out the Memorial Scholarship, and there is Gentleman Jack. Lost him a few years back after a courageous battle with cancer. Just a guy I just always enjoyed talking to. 2012, and win or lose, and he fell in that game to GW. But Jack was always ready to do an interview and ready to say, hey, we'll get back at it. Had a lot of good teams here. And here is Cam Harris. Well, Harris going to make up for that fumble we had a minute ago, and it's going to take a while to get him down. He will carve his way to the 25-yard line. See where they spot him down. Tough runners, what John Carpenter said. Well, he shows it right there.
Yeah, got a good set of legs on him. Kept them feet churning, had that ball. Almost lost it the previous play. Like you said, Mark, making it up. Look at those legs churn. Still moving forward, getting a little bit of assistance from some of those up front guys. Cartier Smith with the assist there to add a couple extra yards.
Another Bridge Valley first down. There's so many there to name to bring down Harris. One was Trenton Stump Nelson. Good hard run there for Robinson. They go back to the junior standout.
Yeah, what makes him so special, Mark, in addition to the fact that he's really hard to bring down, you saw that little seam of a hole, and he has that explosiveness about him as a back. So he not only has that, but he can run with power as well.
Senior night here at UC Stadium at Laidley Field, and Robinson again just gathers a few more yards. And we'll be talking about the late Kenny Bass here in the third quarter. Lost Kenny earlier this week. WCHS Fox 11 award-winning reporter anchor. And Kenny and I would go out to eat after Friday Night Football a lot, and we would always run into Jack Woolwine. There is Kenny. There's our Thanksgiving edition, if you didn't notice, with the pumpkins and just. But Kenny was a great one.
One of a kind.
Here's Robinson. Viewing for Kenny was tonight at the Clay Center. Kenny was very involved with area theater. He was a movie buff. And there's just not much Kenny Bass couldn't talk to you about. But he loved Friday nights, and we loved doing Friday Night Football Extra with him.
Another reason so special, Mark, you didn't have to see him. You could just hear and know that that was Kenny's voice.
Yeah.
He's had a very unique voice. Wonderful man.
Lovely wife, Claire. Our thoughts and prayers with the Bass family. Second down here, and Robinson in trouble. Robinson, well, he did all he could, but good job slowing him down was Landon Hamilton. And that will bring up third down.
Yeah, that one just didn't have any development to it. There wasn't any seals there off the edge, and Robinson just trying to do it on him. Zone, you saw 4 white jerseys being surrounded there by the GW defense.
And James Payne came in there to help finish up there. So it's third down here.
Mark, they've had a lot of trouble getting in. Once they've been inside the red zone, being able to do anything with the ball.
Capital 4 out of 6 on third down. Harris and Payne will bring him down. Nothing doing. Well, this has kind of been a theme tonight, Jim. You see Capital march down the field, and then GW clamps down.
Yeah, really stiffens up that defense, and part of that had to do with it. It just seemed a little bit out of sync when they got inside that 20 mark. That just a good flow getting down to that area inside the scoring zone, the red zone, but just not much once they got in there. It felt like almost like they just weren't clicking on all cylinders.
Capital trying to get its kicking unit onto the field. My goodness.
They've got plenty of time. There's still 13 seconds left on the game clock.
Valdivia is the holder. Timmy McIntyre, just a freshman. John Carpenter says he's going to be a big-time holder. Well, the kick is up, and it is going to be short. The attempt by Braden Robinson, and that will give the ball to GW. We will take a break here inside University of Charleston Stadium at Laidley Field. It is a 17-7 lead for the visiting Patriots over the Cougars.
All right, and welcome back. So I'm right here, always love talking about the band. Right here with Deshaun. He is one of the band members here at Capitol High School. You're a sophomore, right? Talk a little bit about how you got started in this.
So basically, I was just in the room. I didn't really do nothing. So I was like, okay, what if I just do something? So I was like, what if I just do band? My mom, she told me, try it, and I did, and now I'm here.
And he's been warming up. I've been watching this, and it is so impressive. He's been actually teaching some of the students over here, so we've been having a lot of fun. Actually, talk about that competition that you guys competed in a couple weeks ago.
So basically, we went to the Black Walnut Festival where we marched in the parade, and we also did our show, and we won. Yep. We was Class D state champions, and we was the parade in our class state champions.
Hey. All right, buddy. You said you'd teach me a little trick of the trade. Let's do it, all right? I'm scared.
I'm going to teach you a warm-up. It's called Higga Digga Burr. And basically goes like this.
You think that I...
I guess you could say that Hannah tonight beating to a different drummer, right?
She is beating to a different drummer, and she's carrying, and she's packing too. She's got her gun out. So.
All right, GW with the football. They lead at 17-7 following the Capital missed field goal. Persinger keeps it. Persinger had a nice run of 15 yards back in the first half. There is a flag down here.
Yeah, they're kind of queuing on Persinger a little bit more than before. Of course, Jaden Blackman, the workhorse in the first half for the Patriots.
Thank you to Critical Power Management for our Expect Power generator tonight's game. 17-7 lead here for George Washington. They have led the entire game. Capital closed the gap with a fumble recovery that was returned for a touchdown. Persinger handing it off. Black looking for daylight, and he's got it and turns it up the field, and Black journeys his way to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, it's just some poor angle pursuit there. You saw a little bit of a hold there on the edge. Didn't get flagged, but great run there by Jaden Black.
Bridge Valley first down. Bridge Valley Community and Technical College, find your path. 22-yard pickup.
Just when you think Capital had a chance to really put a little bit of pressure and maybe make Persinger put the ball in the air, just hand the ball off to the freshman, let him go around the right edge.
They mark it at the 39-yard line. Black gets the call, and Black turns it up. Dotson will make the stop at the 45-yard line. Dotson has the Capital touchdown.
And Mark, even when it doesn't really look like Jaden Black gets a whole lot, he's smart enough, even at his young age, to figure out that I know when I need to put my head down and get the extra yard that I need. And he's really good about doing that, you know, picking up a solid 7 there on that first down.
Black 17 carries, 135. Snap it to Black, and Black finds first down yardage. Dotson on the stop again. Christian Robinson was there.
Let's make that 18 carries for about 140. Right up the left side, pretty good hold there. Good seal on the inside from Parker Chapman, the junior. Left guard.
Another Bridge Valley first down. And here is Black. Turns it up, takes it to the 44-yard line.
You might want to wonder why this quarters went so fast. If you kind of notice the tempo of Capital, Mark, they were very deliberate in taking almost all of the play clock down on every single snap.
All right. Our T-shirt gun is brought to you by the West Virginia Federal Credit Union. Experience the credit union difference.
Let's see if Hannah can get some distance on these. That one went over the railing. It does count as a homer, but it was just barely over the railing. She needs to readjust that CO2 cartridge there.
Second down, 6 here for GW. Hand it to Black, and Black slips off a one tackler. Flag comes out. Cam Harris wrapped him up.
Generally speaking, Mark, when you see that, it's generally a hold, but we'll wait from signal from the officials. Looks like GW is heading backwards. We'll see.
5-yard first. Number 50 of the defense. 5 yards. First down, GW.
Exactly why you're not supposed to be predicting the flag. and just keep your mouth shut and listen to Brian Holstein. He'll set us straight. I don't know when I'm ever going to learn my lessons. Well, if ever Capital could use a turnover here, it would be right here to really kind of flip the script, get the ball back, stop that momentum by the Patriots.
Well, it's not going to happen in the third quarter because time has run out. And it's a 17-7 lead here for the GW Patriots over the Capital Cougars. Jan Dills is proud to sponsor the streaming of tonight's FNR game on Facebook and YouTube. Injured in a car wreck. Call Jan Dills Attorneys at Law. We won't take no for an answer. And don't forget, after the game, it's our school bus stop of the game presented by NHTSA. Away we go to the fourth quarter here, and the white-clad Patriots of GW in front with 1 quarter to go, 17-7 over Capital.
Hey, everybody. I've got Chris Miller at Dutch Miller Kia. You're helping us out this year, Chris. What made you get on board?
And so we absolutely love high school athletics. We absolutely love giving back to the community. And the simple fact that we can be involved and help all of these different athletic programs all around the state, I mean, how would you not want to do that? It's high school football season. It's going to be so much fun. We get to watch kids compete and also give back to the community and make sure that these programs have enough resources to take care of these kids.
What you're giving is going to make a difference, and it's going to make some athletic department just that much better.
Yeah, we're all in the scramble to make sure and have enough resources to take care of our kids. And we look at it like our job at Dutch Miller Automotive is that we believe that our business has a symbiotic relationship with the community, that it's privileged enough to do business in. And when we do well, we want to make sure the community does well. So we're always doing everything that we can to give back and make sure that we're able to do the fun things we like high school football.
The educators hear it, the parents hear it, the players hear it. We all want to know, where do you keep that checkbook with that big 5-foot check?
So we do have big, long checkbooks, big, huge, checkbooks we give away for presentations too. They're around.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much, Chris Miller. Very, very good to work with you, and it's a proud situation for Dutch Miller to be in.
It really is. We're honored to take part. We can't wait to watch these kids compete. It's going to be an awesome high school football season, and you guys get ready, buckle your shin straps. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Let's play ball.
Well, we talked about Capital High School's first season of existence, 1989, and they made it to the state championship, taking on the Brook Bruins, and Capital came away victorious in that game. And so the first season of existence, and the Cougars had a title. They would add one in 1990. They would add one in 91 and 92. And then they would get another at Wheeling Island Stadium in 2014. John Carpenter was the coach. And now back to live action here as we begin this fourth quarter in this 28th meeting all time between GW and the Capital Cougars. GW leading the series 15-12.
Mark, you might be wondering why the players may look bigger. I think I have to attribute a lot of that to the shoulder pads and the girdle pads that were back in those days.
The two Kanawha Valley teams playing there at Wheeling Island Stadium. That was the AAA state championship of 2014. There's some big games tonight around the state. Get to that in a moment. 6-yard pickup by Black, and there's what Black is so good at, just shedding tacklers. Tayshawn Tyson, I believe, got him down. Finally, Capital in the third quarter, after the third quarter, with 11 first downs, GW 10, GW 161 yards rushing, 82 passing. Capital 114 yards rushing and 51 passing.
I think this is certainly two-down territory for Steve Edwards Jr. Mark, a little bit too far out for the kickers, but they only need a yard, and they've got 2 plays to do it.
No one scored in that third. However, GW with the lead, and they will have a first down. First downs being brought to you by the Clay Center here in this fourth quarter of play. The Clay Center, where science and art come alive.
Yeah, Mark, the workhorse, Jaden Black, I think that's his 22nd or 21st or 22nd carry of the game. He has certainly been a workhorse for the Patriots.
Marco's Pizza to the booth. During each half of every FNR game, we salute the great folks of Marco's. Marco's Pizza is the delivery of the game, satisfying the FNR booth tonight and every Friday night. Each team with 11 first downs and number 11 on the carry for George Washington as Black's big night continues. Don't forget Friday Night Football Extra tonight at 11:10 on WCHS-TV, sponsored by the Thornhill Auto Group. Highlights from around the area with Zach Brown, Bailey Tucker, yours truly, and a tribute to our great friend Kenny Bass. Black has reeled off 7 yards each time he's touched the football, Jim, on an average.
Yeah, that's pretty good yards per carry. I would just continue to feed that young superstar.
Braden Edwards comes out over the football. Steve Jr.'s son, nice job there defensively by Christian Robinson with the trip up. So Braden Edwards, the center for G-Dub, 6'3", 265, a senior. He's got 3 older sisters, Stevie, Carly, and Taylor. And if you think they were named after musical performers, you would be right.
Yes, that's correct.
Well,
we know Stevie would be Nick's, correct? I think. I'm not sure. I don't
Carly
know.
Simon and Taylor Dana, believe.
I think you are correct, Mark.
Steve and his wife, Michelle, music lovers. Cam Harris puts the stop on Black.
Yeah, Mark, a really good job there on the previous play from Christian Robinson, knifing in and getting basically no yardage for Black, which is very rare in this game. And in there, he only got about a yard. So now they're looking at a 4th down. I'm pretty sure they're not going to kick it.
Many thanks to State Equipment for the lift at this particular Go-Mart Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Glenville State University. All right, so here we go. 4th down play for GW, and that clock is winding. So if Capital wants to have any shot here, they really need to make a stop here, but instead Black is going to find daylight, and he heads into the end zone for the touchdown.
that was a tremendously created hole by those front five of GW, and Black was able to take that one all the way to the house.
Jaden Black with the touchdown. Teddy Smith set to try and boot another extra point. Blankenship is the holder. Edwards, the long snapper.
I'm not saying a word, Mark. I know what it is, but I'm not saying it.
Number 15, number defense.
No one can prove what was in my mind, but I'm going to tell you the truth. That was offsides, and that's what I thought it was on the defense.
And Harris with the block. Scooped up there by Trayvon Tyson. There is a look. Boy, just clear sailing for Jaden Black. You don't need to give him much.
Yeah, really good block there, but number 57, Braden Coulter, to spring him. You see the seal on the edge from Clyde May, the junior, running back with another edge block, giving Black all the room in the world to get to that end zone.
23-7 is our score. With 7:45 to go. Time for our West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program scoring summary. 13 plays, 80 yards, 8:36 off the clock.
Yeah, yes, important to get the ball in the end zone to establish a wider gap in their margin, but even more importantly, the fact that he took 8 minutes and 36 seconds off the clock. So really diminishes Capital's opportunities here down the stretch with just 7:45 left in this game.
Christian Robinson picks it up and the ball's loose. And I believe the Patriots have come up with it.
Yeah, that's a backbreaker right there, Mark. The Cougars, who've been on the defense pretty much the whole second half, except for that initial drive that they had. And now GW is going to come away with possession here off of the kickoff. I can certainly tell you that Coach Carpenter is going to be working on special teams this coming week for sure.
Well, tough break there for the Cougars. You know, you got the onside kick, you fielded it, and you're going to have really good field position, but unfortunately could not hang on. And GW goes back to work and back to Black as Jaden Black gets the call. Now there's the end of that Capital celebration there. You know, earlier this year now, we're going to talk about the Hall of Fame here in a moment. There's been a lot of great players here for Capital, but earlier this year, they had their first Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And there's Roger Jefferson, the great Roger Jefferson, who led Capital all those state championships. How about that guy? William King, who then went on to have a great career at Marshall.
Mark, he looks like he can still play.
I think John Carpenter was trying to get him out there that night, and to no avail. But yeah, Al Dean, William King, Roger Jefferson, the late Todd Robinson, banners here at University of Charleston Stadium at Laidley Field. So Capital with 2 turnovers, George Washington with 1. So a great night, and you always love to see the Hall of Fame nights. And I'm going to tell you what, that is a Hall of Fame that will just keep getting richer and richer. There's Capital, again, just trying to see what they can do here in quick fashion, trailing 23-7. That was JoJo Green. He was shaken up a bit, but George Washington's got the ball. Under 7 minutes to go now here in this fourth quarter.
They'll certainly be milking that play clock down to 20, 19 and counting. They're not in any hurry to snap the ball on a running clock off of this possession.
And there's Black. John Carpenter, coach here at Capital, and Carp got a chance to play in a state championship game here for East Bank. Got that picture we'll show you in a minute. But Bulldog Graphics supplying our T-shirts, our T-shirt gun here tonight. East Bank was coached by the great Ralph Hensley. Defeated Magnolia in the championship game, defeated Spencer. Persinger guns it out, and the catch is made. And breaking free, finally taking down Smith. Boy, a big play there. You think it's going to be the feed to Black, and Persinger rifled it out there, and Jamari Smith, boy, with the good speed. Another look there.
Yeah, just a little kind of like a bubble screen there, but you just see the speed and a nice, strong, stiff arm there inside the red zone for the Patriots.
33-yard pickup there. Renzo Augusta Tolliver on the tackle, and up the middle and into the end zone is Jaden Black. What a night for that young man.
Certainly making it look easy, isn't he?
Not sure if he was thinking about a backwards flip there,
I don't know if he's
a la the great late Walter Payton, but I think maybe save that move for another day, young man. Teddy Smith ready to kick it. Up and through. Well, right up the middle, Jim.
Okay, I'm not saying. Okay, in my younger days, I think I could have made it through that hole.
We have a break here in the capital city. The Dome on the horizon. 30-7, GW on top of the Cougars. Our West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program scoring summary for GW4 plays, 51 yards, 216. Jaden Black with another touchdown, 30 carries now, 202 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So, GW this season, it's rare, but sometimes a team will appear twice on Friday Night Rivals, and GW has been on the air now twice, and Black's been over 300 yards. Down to Hannah Klein with our T-shirt gun. Brought to you by the West Virginia Federal Credit Union. Experience the credit union difference.
Mark, only Hannah could actually match her outfit with the gun. she's throwing them up there now.
The gun fizzled.
Yeah, I think so. Mark, we was talking earlier about Steve Edwards Jr. having 207 wins. John Carpenter, no stranger to success, 94-24. That's an 800 winning percentage. I don't think anybody would turn that down.
I think you're right, Jim. Well, another onside kick, and Capital will gather it in. Christian Robinson comes up with it.
Robinson wisely securing the ball and going down to the turf.
Jan Deal is proud to sponsor the streaming of tonight's FNR game on Facebook and YouTube. Injured in a car wreck, call Jan Deal's attorneys at law. We won't take no for an answer. Speaking of Steve Edwards Jr., I think we'll have a great picture of him coming up here as a youngster. So you think that guy, you talk about, he's been the head coach for 30 years at GW, but he's been around football
his whole life.
His whole life. I think he's 64 years old, and it's a great picture. We'll have that for you here in just a moment as Capital goes back to work, and Isabel, young quarterback, and just follow on that ball as he finally does.
Yeah, don't try to make something out of nothing when you've already, oh, there he is. A little thinner, I think, more.
It's funny because it looks like he's ready to kick the coach. You know, he's just a little too close. And I believe he told me that picture was at Watt Powell Park.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, you know, this one I wanted to kind of focus on the coach's shoes, the old spot belts. Mark, if you can remember.
Oh, I remember the spot. Wait, we're the same age, Jim. Come on.
Oh, mercy.
Although the minute I could get my feet into white cleats, I was never going back to the black cleats as Isabel takes off with it. You know, and his dad had some great coaches, and one of them was the late Fred Aldridge, who I know, Jim, you had a close relationship with. Here's Brian.
Yeah, that was a kind of a personal foul, unnecessary roughing it. Yeah, Mark, you mentioned Fred Aldridge earlier. You know, he's really the reason that I got into administration. You know, he came down and talked to me and said, you know, Coach, you know, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I said, you know, I coaching and teaching, I suppose. And he said, really, you got some leadership qualities. I think you need to head into administration. The rest is history.
He was a great basketball coach there, won the state championship, and Steve Edwards Sr. was his assistant, and Fred was the assistant in football for Steve Sr. Here's Robinson, and David Robinson not giving up on this game just yet as he's driven out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Another look here at Robinson.
He's just a really good special player, Mark. He's got good balance. He's not afraid of contact, and he will not go down on the first one for sure.
Had the pleasure of going to Ripley High School with Coach Aldridge's daughter, Keamy. And there is our Champions of the Game trophy, sponsored by Tri-State Trophy.
Blending right into that gold dome in the background. Is perfect.
Isabel takes the snap, hands it to Robinson, who glides through the middle, and Robinson, well, the ball came out, and did GW come up with it? They did. Yeah, big play there by the Patriots once again. And Kion Davis, the senior, with the recovery. Tough break for Capital.
Yeah, you're going to see Robinson going right up, pretty much up the middle. He's trying to get that extra yard, just kind of blindsided there on the strip from Jamari Smith.
Well, again, you look at the final in this game and what it might be, and a much closer game than would indicate. Capital's had its chances.
Yeah, they just weren't able to really execute inside the red zone, but they were able to move it from the 20 to the 20.
And Capital trying to get players shuffled in there. And Davis, who came up with the fumble recovery, he gets the carry. Have been some great games down through the years with these two. Had one overtime game that met in the playoffs twice, each team winning a game. You know, I was looking at overtime games. Obviously, this game, here's Brian Holstein. We'll get his call.
Marches the Patriots back off of that
run
there by
GW.
Kion Davis. I'm sorry, the Patriots, yes.
Yeah, it was against GW, although he should say defense. Each of these teams picked second in the respective divisions of the MSAC, GW in the blue and Capital in the gold. But going back to overtime games and, started looking at the history of overtime games, Capital is 9-0 in overtime games. GW is 4-9.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
And Jaden Black, check that, it was Kion Davis who got the call.
Yeah, I think we've seen about enough of.
We talked about Fred Aldridge there a moment ago, and I mean, he was intense as a coach.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Just a wonderful gentleman. I believe we got a shot of Fred coming up here, and there he is, celebrating another Patriot win. He was in administration by the time GW had played for the state championship here in 1982 against North Marion. North Marion, under the guidance of the late, great Roy Michael, they were gunning for a third consecutive state championship, but the Patriots got the win that night. I was here to watch that game. That was quite the game. What a crowd. Clyde May gets the call, and May upended there.
Yeah, I was always forever apologizing to Mr. Aldridge about how easy I thought administration was. You just walk up and down the hallways picking up trash, and little did I know.
I love how you still call him Mr. Aldridge.
Yeah, exactly, and I always will.
Under 2 minutes to go here in the football game.
You got a hats off to this Capital crew on defense, Mark. They've been out on the field an awful lot. A lot of no quit out of those young players.
No doubt. May gets the call. Tackle made by Lorenzo Augusta Tolliver. Now there's John Carpenter with Heath Huffman, Mike Hockenberry, Craig Arnold getting ready to play a state championship game right here at University of Charleston Stadium. It was just Laidley Field back then, now UC Stadium at Laidley Field.
And if it was possible, Mark, even back then, I think the shoulder pads were bigger than that last highlight you gave us.
Yeah, John Carpenter there, I believe number 86. He was a tight end for Ralph Hensley. And then he got his start in coaching. Ralph Hensley worked with the late, great Dick Whitman.
Some legendary coaches there you got on that list right there.
I mentioned that I went to high school with Fred Aldridge's daughter, Kimi, because they lived, right there on the Jackson-Kanawha County line. Mm-hmm. He was still teaching and coaching at George Washington. Got a time out called, but Kimi probably killed me. But she was a pom-pom girl in the very first unit of pom-pom girls at Ripley High School. And there is Steve and Steve. Steve Jr., Steve Sr. at Steve Edwards Senior Field here in the capital city. Again, we mentioned, they played football at Watt-Powell. They played, most of the home games were played here. But boy, they just really wanted to have that home turf up there on the hill. So they kind of got started with it and had a few games. Played Parkersburg South in 1999 on September 4th. And then full-time, they went to Steve Edwards Senior Field in 2010. GW's head to football 27 minutes, 21 seconds here tonight. Capital 19 minutes, 57 seconds. Both of these programs have had Kennedy Award winners. As I mentioned, Ryan Switzer. Mike Estes was a great quarterback, 1977. David Bear, great running back. Tyree Pratt and Kayshawn Haley. Kennedy Award winners from Capital, the top player in the state of West Virginia. So GW going to punt here with 42 ticks remaining. Lusk boots it. Ball rolls around. And Capital will have it at the 44-yard line. 34-yard punt. Well, next week we will be at Pioneer Field in Wayne as the Wayne Pioneers entertain the Williamstown Yellow Jackets. Our coverage begins at 7. Our last regular season contest.
Hard to believe the season's
FNR.
coming to a
My
close,
goodness.
Mark. Unbelievable.
31 seconds remain here.
I see Valdivia back in there out there, number 7. Maybe they're going to put one in the air. So we talked about that no quit from John Carpenter and his crew, Mark. They're not really looking at the score. They're just looking at execution, because this is obviously not their last game, and they're still very much in the playoff hunt, as is GW, both of them in their respective classes. So they still have to go out there and execute till there's zeros on the clock.
So Valdivia, the senior, back to work here. And again, the kid been here for 4 years, hands it to Robinson, who steams his way ahead into George Washington territory. Time winding down. Valdivia in trouble, and Valdivia goes down. Seth Allen Boone made the tackle. Well, the clock here in the fourth quarter has hit all zeros. George Washington wins it over Capital by a final of 30-7. And GW now leads the series 16-12. Good, tough game. Capital, as John Carpenter pointed out, we're still trying to develop everything, as he comes back to the program, second year. First was the head coach for 2010 to 2020, and they battled some good teams this year, battled Huntington, and tonight they fall short, but some good signs there in GW. After losing 2 tough ones, they get back on the winning side of things and take it here tonight by a final score of 30-7. Well, again, we mentioned that Friday nights never going to be the same. Kenny Bass, our colleague on Friday Night Football Extra, dating back to 1997, and I joined the crew in 1998, and Kenny and I together, we loved football and loved Fridays, and he will be missed.
Absolutely.
Well, we will come back and we will have our trophy presentation, our stop of the game, and much more from the capital city here in Charleston. And we'll leave you with our Thursday night lights and Friday night rivals. Great scenes from a week ago. Again, much more to come here from the capital city when we return.
The best Thursday night lights and Friday night rivals highlights from across the country.
Kelly got to quit celebrating and get back ready for a 4th down play.
Yeah, they were trying to set up a hook and ladder, but he didn't have time. They got the board. They got the board. That's going to be, Joe, that's going to be a touchdown. Touchdown, Jalen Boyd. Inside the 10. What a touchdown. What a play. What in the world? Westwood with a touchdown on a hope and a prayer, and the prayer is answered. What?
Beachy, can he get the corner turn? He does. Here's that speed. And he's still on his feet. To the 20. Stiff arm. To the end zone. Touchdown.
Pump fake. Throws. Goes deep. And what a catch on the far side. Oh, what a catch by Oriuso. They will call it.
Heavy pressure. Throws it downfield to the middle of the field. What a catch coming up and grabbing the ball. Maddox.
55-yard field goal from the left hand. The kick is up, and it's good! double.
Wow.
All right, our school bus stop of the game, sponsored by NHTSA, and a fumble recovery scooped up by Jamal Dotson, and that was Capital score. Capital got it to 17-7 at the break, but they could get no closer. GW wins it 30-7. Down to Hannah Klein we go with player of the game and trophy of the game, with Jamal Dotson winning that stop of the game award, but Jamal Black is our player of the game. Take it away, Hannah.
All right, Jamal and the entire team is just so excited to be here right now. I know it's chilly out here, so let's try to be quick, okay? Talk a little bit about your guys' performance tonight.
We did great. My line did amazing, and we came out with the win. And I just feel like we all did such an amazing job. Our receivers did an amazing job of faking out the guys, and our blocking was amazing. And our quarterback, he's great. Our lineman, that defense was great. That fumble by Trent Stubb-Nelson, that was great. And I'm just glad we came out with the win.
And then I'm going to come over here real quick, go over to Blankenship. What have you guys seen change from maybe week one to what have you seen in that change?
I think that our team chemistry is really built over.
All right, GW victorious here tonight over Capital, 30-7. Jim, some final thoughts here, my man.
Yeah, great execution by the Patriots. They really capitalized, did a tremendous ground attack from Jaden Black, the freshman. No quit in Capital, really something to be proud of. They got some more games ahead of them and probably headed for the playoffs as well. So John Carpenter's crew will regroup and head back next week and try it again.
All right, so that will do it from inside University of Charleston Stadium at Laidley Field. For Jim Mahan, Hannah Klein, our wonderful crew, Mark Martin, and we say so long from the capital city. Congratulations to George Washington, a second Champions of the Game trophy this season. First time around against Spring Valley, tonight against Capital. That will do it. Thanks so much for watching our Go-Mart Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Glenville State University. GW wins it in the Capital City Showdown.